was a different kind of Passover meal, to say the least. I remember right when I sat down, Philip leaned over to me and he whispers, "Hey, Thomas, I feel like something special is going to happen tonight." I looked at him and said, "I doubt it." And I was wrong. Jesus got up from the table and he walked over and he grabbed a basin of water and a towel. I remember at the time thinking to myself, what's Jesus doing with the foot water? I doubt he's going to wash anybody's feet. I was wrong again. He knelt down and he began to wash Bartholomew's feet, and Bart just sat there. He didn't say a word. He didn't move. None of us did. Jesus finished and went on to James and Andrew and the rest of us, and I remember at the time thinking, this is so strange and yet so wonderful. I doubt anyone is going to say anything now. And I was wrong again. You know who broke the silence.
"No way are you going to wash my feet." That's what I told him. He could wash other people's feet, but he wasn't going to wash mine. So I looked at him and I said, "Jesus, you're not going to wash my feet. I mean, you're the king." And then he looked at me and said, "Well, then you can't have anything to do with me." And I'm like, ouch. Okay, wash my feet, wash my hands, wash my whole body. He just looked at me and said, "No, your feet will be fine, Peter." In the midst of washing our feet, he teaches us servanthood.
And then Jesus took some bread and wine. He blessed it and served it to us, and he said it was a new covenant in his blood. And he said, "Tonight, all of you will lose faith in me." And I remember thinking right then and there, lose faith in you? Never. But I didn't say anything. I just sat there.
I couldn't just sit there. I had to say something, so I looked at him and I said, "Jesus, I love you. You can count on me. Everybody else may fall away, but I will stick with you. You can count on me." He looked at me and he smiled and said, "Peter, you will deny me 3 times before morning." Ouch. Next thing I knew, we were wrapping things up and heading to the garden to pray. Once we got to the garden, it just got crazy. Jesus asked Peter, James, and myself to go a little farther into the garden with him and pray. And we did. Well, we tried. We kept falling asleep, and Jesus kept waking us up. I remember one time he said, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." That's true. It's all a blur. And to think this whole mess got started because of Judas. Did he really think what he was doing was right?
There he is. He's the one you want, the one praying by himself. Now the others, they will try and come and create some kind of a scene, but the one that I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want. Now, 30 pieces of silver for this, right? That's what we agreed upon? 30 pieces? Okay, now, forget about the rest of the crowd. The one that I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want.
A kiss? Judas betrays Jesus with the kiss of a friend? Then it got crazy. Peter grabs a sword and he cuts this guy's ear off, and Jesus, he just reached down and picked up that ear and put it back on the guy's head as if nothing happened. And then they took him. I would love to tell you that we fought for him, but we didn't. Everyone ran. I ran. I'm so ashamed.
What have I done? What have I done? Was I so stupid to think that he was... What have I done? I've killed him, haven't I? I've killed him. I crucified Jesus. That's what the crowd wanted, and that's what they got. Personally, I don't think the man did anything wrong to deserve that, but I was just a soldier doing my job. When the governor gave his sentence, that's when I went to work. You know, I loved that job because I felt like every day I was administering justice every time I nailed someone to a tree. But this man, I don't think this man deserved that.
Makes no sense. There I was, rotting in a jail cell for like stealing and murdering, you name it, I've done it. I knew the next time I left this jail cell, that would be it. That was it. So the guards, they came and they got me and they put me next to this guy who had been beaten to a pulp. And Governor Pilate started asking the crowd, which one of these men do you want me to set free? I was like, it was obvious. The crowd's going to say, let Jesus go. And then I was going to tell them where they could go. And then the crowd, they started chanting, Barabbas, Barabbas. I mean, they were saying my name. They were saying my name over and over again. The guards shoved me into the crowd and they took this Jesus off to Golgotha. 1 minute I'm a man marked for death, and then the next minute I'm free. Made no sense. So I followed him all the way to Golgotha.
I was stationed at Golgotha that day, and we had just raised the second criminal by the time they brought him to me. I'll never forget the way he looked. Battered, bruised, bleeding, hardly recognizable. What was left of his clothes, well, my details stripped those off and gambled for them, and then I went to work. Now, generally, when you crucify someone, the hardest thing to do is to nail down the first hand. Because the criminal wants to try and fight you. He wants to pull it away. So I had 2 strong men come over and hold down his arm, but he didn't try to move it. He didn't try to get away. He didn't seem to want to stop me. And I'll admit, I have been called every name in the book. I've heard it all over and over again, so nothing surprises me. But this man looked at me and he said, Father, forgive him. He knows not what he's doing. He forgave me.
Forgive them. He said, forgive them. Who is he? Forgive? It should have been me up there. I was the one who's supposed to be hanging from that tree. He took my place. Then I looked up and I remembered he took a deep breath, an agonizing breath, and he said, it is finished. And then he died.
surely this man was the Son of God.